Ella, age 37, is not open to the idea of having children, despite the insistence of her closest relatives and friends. Her father, a descendant of Holocaust survivors, exhorts her to reconsider her decision. In turn, her husband Aidan proposes that Ella visits her doctor, Dr. Weber, for breast cancer screening. At the doctor's office, Ella talked about her fears and worries about giving birth and wishing her biological clock would hurry up. Weber told her that her clock may be broken and then offered her an experimental treatment. Ella agreed and pretended that she was going away to do a work project before calling in to cancel. Ella encounters Elizabeth Simmons, who states she can mend Ella's clock using a surgical implant and medicine. Ella complies and starts taking the pills. When doing a Rorschach test, Ella has visions of a hugely tall woman, an assembly of dead insects, and a grandfather clock. In Simmons' view, the clock symbolizes Ella's anxiety over the possibility of the end of her family line, signifying that she is ready to proceed with the treatment. Within a sensory deprivation tank designed to make Ella confront her fears, she sees visions where she is holding a baby and it is swinging like a pendulum between her legs, along with fear-inducing scenes of childbirth. She cries out to be let out. When the chamber opens, she catches sight of a tall woman at her tank, makes a dash for it, but loses her footing and knocks her head. She faints. When Ella regains consciousness, Simmons informs her that a powerful reaction to the medicine is a good sign. Ella watches the surveillance video and realizes that the person outside her tank was the attendant. Ella agrees to the last step of the process, the implantation. She and Aidan head over to her pregnant friend, Shauna's house for a party. But Ella hallucinates a spider and starts to swing a heavy book towards Shauna's belly in an effort to smash it. Fortunately, Aidan is able to stop her in time. Although Shauna is obviously shaken, she still wants Ella to design her nursery. Ella's side effects persist. She has lost her color perception, becomes aware of the ticking of an old clock, and perceives ordinary people as resembling the tall woman. To evade being removed from the study, she conceals this from Simmons. When Shauna enters her nursery, she discovers that Ella has been decorating it with her hallucinations, painting tall women and other creatures and nailing sharp wood on the walls. The two friends begin to argue, and all of a sudden, Shauna's water breaks. Ella smears the amniotic fluid on her face and is cast out of the house by Shauna's wife. She is then called to her dad's, as he has had a tumble and broken his arm. While he speaks, the ticking of the grandfather clock behind him becomes increasingly louder. In a fit of rage, Ella grabs tools from the cupboards and begins to dismantle the clock despite her dad's protests. Aidan finds Ella, her hands cut and in shock, sitting at home. He tends to her wounds and comforts her as she tells him what has happened. With her passion for destruction still present, she professes her readiness for a child. The two share an intimate moment, only to be interrupted seconds later when the implant slices Aidan's genitals. Aidan asks Ella to get a gauze from his bag and she notices the logo of the treatment facility. When Ella questions him, he reluctantly confesses his previous meeting with Simmons and how Weber was encouraged to propose the study to her. Angered, Ella hurts his wound and storms out of the room. In fury, she drives to the facility to confront Simmons and other participants. Ella and Simmons have a heated argument over the implant, with Ella demanding it be taken out. But Simmons refuses to budge. In frustration, Ella reaches for her pliers to take it out herself. Just then the tall woman steps in to stop her, but Ella overpowers her, and the woman suddenly morphs into Simmons. Ella successfully pulls the implant out and is able to see colors once more. A barrage of police cars show up, causing Ella to make a hasty escape by car. Ella stops her car near the edge of the cliff and receives a call from Aidan. He informs her that he has contacted the police after witnessing her behavior towards her father. Initially taken aback, she remembers doing something to the clock. It dawns on her that her dad was the clock. In distress, she exits the car only to be intercepted by the police. She decides to make a desperate escape by plunging off the cliff. Ella is lying at the bottom of the cliff, close to the water's edge, with no signs of injury. She sees a peculiar, fish-like creature coming out of the water and moving towards her.